First, I'm going to design buck converter. Okay, so in MATLAB, right? So in MATLAB, you have to design that LC parameter. In the simulation only, we are not deal with the hardware. Only we are deal with the simulation. Here, you need to focus on designing of LNC parameter for converter. When you are going to design any converter, you have to focus on that LNC parameter. For that, we have equation here. I'm going to open that equation. This is equation for designing the LNC parameter for a buck converter. Buck converter going to be convert that in step down the voltage from high end to low end, low level. This is the equation is for designing LNC parameter. In order to design the LNC parameter, first you have to fix the power rating of the converter. Next you have to fix the next you have to fix the input voltage, and then switching frequency, and then you have to fix the output voltage. Next to process, you have to calculate the output current, maximum output current. So that maximum output current going to be calculated based upon the power rating of the converter divided with the output voltage. Next, you have to provide two more parameters. The two more parameters are nothing but the ripple inductor current and then ripple capacitor voltage. So here we are going to design LNC for inductor. I have to fix the ripple inductor current, and then for capacitor you have to fix the ripple capacitor voltage. For that you want to take the output of the converter and multiply it with some percentage. Okay, here I am going to consider 1% of the I out max, and also I am going to consider that means for calculating ripple capacitor voltage, I am going to take output voltage that going to be multiplied with the 1%. That means the ripple is around 1% of the output voltage and 1% of the output current. Based upon this, that means this is fixed by ourselves according to the requirement. Here I am going to fix that ripple will be 1%. Next I am going to calculate LNC value. This is a formula for calculating LNC value. So in order to calculate LNC value, we need a V out, V in, ripple inductor current, switching frequency and input voltage. For calculating C, we need a IL and then Fs and then the V out. Based upon this value, we have to calculate LNC, and then this one for calculating load resistance. So what's the load resistance for a rated power? That's going to be calculated by V out divided by out max. And finally here we are calculating the duty cycle. Duty cycle which is equal to V out divided by V in. By using this code, when you run this code, you will get that detail of LNC and C, and then load resistance, and then you will get the duty cycle. Here duty cycle will be 0.5 because the input will be 800, output will be 400, output will be 50% of the input. So that's why duty cycle will be 0. Next thing we need to move on to creating that buck converter Simulink diagram in MATLAB. For that, go to home and then click Simulink and then click block model. For creating buck converter, we need DC supply, DC voltage source. Just you have to take the DC voltage source from the specialized power system, and then we need a IGBT diode. You take IGBT diode from the specialized power system, and we need diode. We take the diode, and then we need a inductor and capacitor and load resistance. For that, you take RLC, series RLC branch. Now you connect that circuit. That means you just frame that circuit for buck converter. Just go to connect this one. Here we need inductor, and here we need capacitor, and finally we need a load resistance, load resistor. Next we need to have the PWM generator for controlling this IGBT diode. Just you have to take that PWM generator. Just you have to take PWM generator DC to DC. Just you have to take that PWM generated DC to DC. The input will be duty cycle. Just you have to have constant. Just you have to use constant because we are going to do only open loop now. Just you have to take constant, and then that going to be connected here. Next thing, you have to fix the value for input voltage. Voltage will be 800, and then you have to fix the value for inductor. Inductor value is 0.0571, and then we need to fix capacitor. Capacitor value is 1.09 into 10 power minus 6, and then load resistance. Load resistance is 11.4286. Next, you have to fix the switching frequency 10 kilohertz. I think we include all details like source voltage, inductor, capacitor value, resistor value, and then switching frequency. Next you have to fix the duty cycle here 0. Next we need to check the result output. For that I'm going to use voltage measurement, and then I'm going to use current measurement. Here I'm going to connect current measurement block. measuring the load current, and I'm going to connect this voltage measurement across that load. Next, I'm going to see the results. That means voltage, current, and power of the load side. Okay, and I'm going to use scope. That scope having three ports. In three port, you have to measure voltage, current, and power. Here, I'm going to connect voltage, current, and then I'm going to calculate the power by multiplying voltage and current. Now, only one thing we need to do here is, here we are using specialized power system toolbox. So that will be, and then this specialized power system need the power GI block. So power GI block will be having some supporting program for running this block. So without that power GI block, won't run. For making this circuit, just you to include that power GI block. Okay. Now everything is, so I'm going to fix the time which is equal to 1 second, and then I'm going to run the model. So you see that the voltage will be 400, and then current is around 35 amps, and finally we are getting the power around 14 kilowatt. Whatever you design, that will be appear here in load side, but we need to design that load voltage control. The voltage should be maintained constant. Suppose the resistance going to be changed. For example, I'm going to change the resistance. I'm going to make 50% of the load. Okay. Just I'm going to increase the resistance. Now also no problems, will be working fine. Now I'm going to change the input voltage. For example, I'm going to change to 720 volt. During this time, we will see that difference. It's not maintaining at 400 because of reduction in the input voltage. The load voltage going to be reduced around 25 volt. Is around 33 370 or 375 volt. The 25 volt will be reduced because of reduction in the input voltage variation. But for a constant load application, constant voltage load application, we need to maintain load voltage constant always. So for that, we go with the closed loop control. Here I'm going to change the voltage will be 800, and here I'm going to make that load condition, and here I'm going to use feedback control. I'm going to use one input will be load voltage, so another input will be reference voltage for the load. Then here you change minus plus because we are taking negative feedback concept. Next you have to use PID controller. Here I'm going to use PID controller. Input will be error and the output will be, here will be duty cycle. Okay, the duty cycle when we control this, that means going to be processed via PWM generator. So that PWM generator will be control this IGBT to control the load voltage. I'm going to have manual switch. I'm going to use manual switch. The second input will be output. That means from the PID, I'm changing the position. When you are going to, when the switch position in upper, then system will be operating open loop. When it comes to lower position, then it will becomes to closed loop control time. Now I'm not tuning anything in the PID controller. I'm not tuning anything. I take as it is. What I wonder if you are not tuning that controller, but you will get some proper result also. Here also you see that here I'm not tuning anything, but even though we are getting the result, but it's not a correct way. It is not appeal for all kind of processor. Whenever you design for your controller, it's not happen. If suppose I'm going to reduce the time up to 0.1, 0.1, and then check the response, we are getting the result. Delete this one. This is PV with the grid integration. This is a grid point. This is PV power integration point that will be connected by a boost converter inverter. Next, we need to connect that EV battery. How this is now is known as EV charging station. Here you have to connect that EV battery. Here you have the system. Here you are going to connect EV battery. This is EV battery, and then this system nothing but the inverter system, inverter control system. This inverter control going to be happen by means of current control concept. Whatever thing we discussed in the PV, and that you have to take some portion, and then that portion going to be implemented for that battery. How it going to be happen, I will tell you. I'm going to copy this one is PV. I'm change to PV and copy this one. This will be charger of charger point, PV charger. This will be connected to the point of common coupling. Here I'm going to take this out for this one. Here you have this capacitor, so I'm taking out. Here I'm going to connect into port, connection port. This is left side and this is also left side. Port will be positive, and then this will be negative. And here I'm going to take this voltage control because we are directly connect that battery here. At this point, we are going to connect the battery, EV battery. You plug in the EV battery for charging, and here you have to provide current reference, that will power reference. Here I'm going to provide constant, and here I'm going to provide minus 20 kilowatt, and then it will be divided with the 100 kilowatt. That is ID reference. Now, just we remove that voltage control because voltage control no need here. We are going to charge the battery. We can do only current control concept here. That's why remove that voltage controller part. Instead of voltage controller, we are fixing the reference current directly. How we are going to fix the reference current? Here we are fixing the charging power, and then it will be converted into per unit by dividing with the 100 kilowatt. And then it will be a reference current for charging. Of the remaining thing, everything will be same as it is. And then this point we have to connect the battery. This point. Okay. Just I'm going to take battery. Here I'm going to connect the battery. The battery voltage I'm going to fix 600 volt, and battery capacity I'm going to fix 20 kilowatt divided by 600, and charger battery will be 50. Apply. Next process, I'm going to measure the battery detail. Bus selector. Here I'm going to measure the battery quantity, voltage, current, and SOC. And here I'm going to remove this one, voltage, current, and the SOC signals. I'm going to only take that voltage, current, and SOC. And next I'm going to use scope. Here we have 3 quantity, voltage, current, and SOC. That will be connected here. And one more thing, we have to use mean block to have the actual current. Now here we are going to charge the battery around 20 kilowatt. During daytime, PV will be generating power. So that power will be used to control this, charge the battery via this charger. During night time, the grid will be going to be used to charge the battery. This is EV charging based upon PV grid system, PV powered EV charging. So now we have to check the result. And one more thing, here we have to change the parameter. This one is VABC1, IABC1. And this one is VG1, IG1, and here I have to change that one VABC1, IABC1, VG1, and IG1. And here I change this one is IG1, and this one is omega T1, and here we change to VG1, and here we change to omega T1. This detail you have to change because we are using same kind of inverter configuration. Label will be same in both initially. You have to change that label VABC1, IABC1, whatever thing. Now the system is ready. You have to check the results. This is battery detail, and then this is power of EV grid voltage, current, PV, and then EV grid side voltage and current, and the battery will save the voltage and current. Here we have to keep this one, and then this is real power. This real power, and then this is real power in the EV charger side. You have to check the detail now. Voltage. Here you will see that power generation from the PV around 100 kilowatt, and then this is inverter voltage, inverter current, grid voltage, grid current in the PV inverter side, and then this power from that power to that from that PV grid inverter. Here you will see that this is battery voltage, battery current, battery in charging mode, and here you will see that this is EV charger, inverter voltage, current, grid side voltage and current. This is the power in the inverter. This is around 30 kilowatt. If you adjust that PA parameter of that inverter, you can control effectively. But now we are using the PV grid concept for EV charging. This is known as PV powered EV charging station along with the grid integration. The system will be having features of charging concept of EV.